Would you like to win this? Because you can't. This is mine. Stop it. Okay? Sheesh, leave me alone, guys. But really, would you? This is, if you can't tell, the Vectra. A Vectra DC return pump. This is the L2. This is mine. Hands off. However, would you like to win an S2? We have one. We're giving it away. Stay tuned. I'll tell you how you can win it. All right, guys. Few things here. This is going to be a just kind of overview. I actually filmed some of this several weeks ago. However, it's been super slammed and busy for me, so I haven't had a chance to post it. We had the reef bot up, and I wanted to get that video out as quickly as possible. So this got put on the back burner so I could do those videos. So I'm going to show you this video here. I went and visited a place out in Fort Wayne here that's localish kind of to me. So I wanted to get some corals, see what they had, and I know the owner, and he's a great guy, and he shops with us. I wanted to shop with him and go check out his place. So without further ado, let's get in the car in this video. Let's go to Summit City Corals. Let's go, guys. Okay, actually before we go, a little update on the tank. We had an issue. I don't know what it was, but I lost both of the clownfish. I was extremely heartbroken, upset over this. I don't still know what caused it. It was actually about a week and a half ago that I lost them. And again, because the reef bot, it's actually been about 2 weeks now. Because the reef bot, I wanted to get those videos out, so we didn't really talk about it all that much. We didn't talk about it all. I didn't bring it up because I wanted to focus on the reef bot and get those things out. But I lost both of the clownfish. I have no clue what happened. I can't figure it out. My parameters so far all checked out. Ammonia, nitrate, phosphates, everything else, salinity, temperature, everything else seemed perfectly fine. Nothing that spiked that I could tell that would be the cause of the death. But what's really strange was both of them died the exact same night. And it's very strange. There's no way that I have a predator in this tank. You saw me build this. It's all dry. Everything came in here literally dead and dry. There's nothing that came out of someone's tank that would have been alive that went into the display tank and would have caused where, you know, a big crab or a mantis shrimp would be hiding out and poaching off these fish finally. So I don't know what would have caused it, but the one clownfish was way over here in the Marco Rock. He was literally, if you've ever seen Marco Rock, it's got a lot of porous caverns, nooks, crannies. He was literally wedged up into a little cranny there. I don't know how he did it, if he got blown there or if he just swam there and was trying to hide. But again, there's nothing in here unless someone came in and put something in there that I'm not aware of, or my kids did. You know, there's nothing in here that should be scaring them or anything like that. And literally the night before, I was messing with this tank, or I was watching it, I should say. I was looking at this tank, and I gave them a little bit of food. The female, which is the most rambunctious and outgoing, will come and get food from me. She didn't want any. She saw it, but she held back in reserve. It was later at night, normally way past when I feed, so it's possible that in my mind I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, it's later than normal. She's not used to it. She doesn't want anything. But it was a little bit odd, and they were, I don't want to say acting differently, but they were, you know, the female was up against a rock, and I thought, well, maybe they're laying eggs, because female would go up against rock, but they didn't do any cleaning, so I didn't really think they were doing that, but it was just different behavior than what they had been exhibiting. But I just kind of played it off as, you know, maybe something was going on as far as their mating or something of that nature. So it was very strange, but the anemones were tucked up underneath the rocks, because again, it was late, the lights were going off, so they normally go under. That was very normal. It wasn't normal that she didn't want to come out and get at least a little snippet of food. But whatever, you know, 7, 8 o'clock, whatever time it was, I said, okay, you know, and then the lights went off and I went about my day. Next day came in, went to work, didn't notice anything. didn't even look at the tank, honestly. I just, passed it by and went to work. Later on in the morning, I finally decided to come over here, and I couldn't find any of them. They weren't coming out, and which was very strange. The female is very active, comes out, especially when I'm around. She wants food, all that jazz, but couldn't find them. So I looked and looked. First inclination is they jumped. Something made them jump. I looked on the floor, everywhere, back behind the sump, back behind the stand. I looked in my overflow box because I did remove a little piece that was blocking this where the lock line comes out, so it technically could, if one of them wanted to, jump through there and get back in. So I looked in there, couldn't find them. Was at this point I'm freaking out, like, what in the world? How they've got to be in here somewhere. Finally, after looking at the rock, I found the male. He was wedged in the rock. I got him out. His body looked perfect. He looked like a very healthy. I didn't see anything as far as bacterial infections, parasites, anything like that that would lead me to believe that he had some sort of issue health-wise. He wasn't starving. His stomach was not, pinched in where it looks like he's just hasn't eaten for 5 months. Nothing like that. And obviously there could be something internal that I couldn't see. But from the outside of the male, I couldn't see anything that led me to believe he was unhealthy. But I couldn't find the female. So after I found her, I'm scouring the rocks left and right, thinking, well, maybe the same thing happened to her. And I couldn't find her. I could not find her. I just couldn't. So my only inclination was that the anemones took her. Which is not common for a bubble tip anemone to eat fish. But, I mean, I had no other... There was literally, I could find nothing. I thought, well, I've got to be missing something, but I couldn't find her. So finally, I just had to let it go. Finally, later that night, I did it once over again on it, trying to look through everything, and there she was. The anemones. The crazy part was the anemones were fluorescent orange. I kid you not. Now, if I look from the top down, they usually have a little bit of an orange tint, but from the front, that thing, this front one was, I mean, neon sign orange. Like, it was so stark different from the normal red that they are. Now, they do have touches of orange in there, especially like right now I'm looking at it, and I see orange from the top. Usually from the front, it goes more red, and obviously that has to deal with glass and the iron and all that stuff, but this thing was fluorescent orange, and I thought that was, it was very different and out of characteristic from what it was normally, so which is why it led me to believe that he must have gotten the fish. And sure enough, that night, came back, I saw the clownfish up inside. Went in there real quick, got the clownfish out. All the corals seemed to be doing fine. The anemones, technically, although underneath, were doing fine. Everything came out and opened up. So it was very strange, and I still haven't been able to figure out. I've done multiple tests on ammonium, multiple tests phosphates, nitrates, nitrites, all that jazz. I've ran across the salinity, the temperature. I've double checked my temperature 5 times just to make sure nothing spiked huge that could have maybe caused this overnight occurrence. And I don't know. The only other change I made was I switched my Vortec pump. It was up here in the front going across, and I decided to put it back here because there was a little algae going on in the back, so I wanted a little bit more flow over here, just to ensure nothing's getting held up in this back corner, because most of my flow is coming from over here and across. So I decided to put that back there. The only thing that could have possibly caused an issue would be it dug out some of the sand in the back corner. And if there was detritus, whatever, sulfur, whatever, buried in that sand and then got all released, but it would have had to been a heavy enough of a concentration to take out both fish at the same time. But that's the only other changes that I've made to this system. So beyond that, if you have an idea, if you've had it happen to you, let me know. I'm baffled by it. The tank seems to be doing very, very well right now. Corals are coming out, so that's what's going on. Devastated that I lost those fish. I loved them. They were gorgeous. The female literally would come out and eat out of my hand. Even the male would, to an extent, and neither of them bothered me as far as nipping, very hard. Obviously, as they would have grown more and more, it's very possible they would have become more aggressive, but they were doing phenomenal. And I was about to get some more fish in here, but with that, I decided, you know what, I need to take a step back, give it a week or two, make sure nothing weird is going on here. with this water quality and the tank in general to make sure I'm not going to put fish in here again and just have the same thing happen. So I'm definitely going to get 2 more clowns. But without further ado, let's go check out the Summit City Corals. I'll take you and I'll show you all the frags. We've got a lot of great stuff from them. He had an amazing fish store. I recommend highly go check him out if you're local here to northern Indiana. He's got some great fish, lots of great corals, and you can tell by looking in his tanks. There was, I forget what Montipora it was, but it was an encrusting Monty, and that thing was on a plate probably 2.5 by 2.5 inches, and then sat on an egg crate for his frag rack, and that thing had grown over the entire plate onto the egg crate and probably had a good 7-inch strip that this encrusting Monty was just growing completely over. And I love seeing systems, and especially stores that have this type of growth, because you know they're doing something right. They're doing something right in their systems, and they're taking care of their inhabitants, because it's growing like crazy and it's going to grow wherever it wants to, because it's so happy. So I love seeing that. So if you're in the area, go check them out. Summit City Corals, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Do a Google search for him. It's a small shop, 700 square feet or 750 square feet, I think he said, but got a lot of great stuff in there, and he's a great guy, Matt, so I appreciate him letting me stop by and pick up a few frags, and let's go check it out. All right, we're here. Summit City Corals behind me. Fort Wayne, I guess I should look at the camera. Summit City Corals behind me. We're gonna go in, see what we can find. Let's get going. If you're buy local, come check it out. Got good stuff. We got goodies to go. Let's go home. All right, guys, we are at the tank. I'm going to take you by some of the corals that I got from Summit City. One of the things that I'm most happy about, and I've told you why I love this so much before, is the pulsing xenia. This thing is absolutely stunning. As you can see, moves on its own, does its own thing. I absolutely love this coral. I put it on a central rock here, so there's no chance of it spreading all over the tank and taking over the entire system. And then if we come past over here, you can see these neon green candy canes. I've had them in the past. I've always loved them as well. Beautiful corals, especially when they really get nice and meaty. The one on the left had a little bit of tissue that was coming back, but it's already eaten several times for me. It's doing very well. I really like that. Here we have some purple death polythoas that were really growing everywhere, or I believe they're purple death. They're not as large here. If we look back right there in the center here, where's my finger? Right there. We have some Captain America polys, and then over here is a red polythoa that I got. So mainly got some zoanthids and some few extra Nassarius snails, but as you can see, Everything looks pretty decent. I should feed those candies and get them nice and puffed up again. But favorite purchase is definitely the pulsing Xenia. I absolutely love this thing. That is so mesmerizing just to watch that. I think it's just incredible. One of the coolest. Okay, let's talk about the Vectra. This is an L2. This is not what you're... I'm looking over here. Let's talk about this real quick. This is an L2. This is not what you're winning. Do not think you're winning an L2. Stop it. Don't do it. Put a little S here. S right there. Actually, look. You are winning the S. S2. You see that? Does that focus? S2. Not the L2. S2. This is what you're entering to win. You don't want to miss out on this. I love these pumps. We're actually going to put this guy on this tank, especially if you have a closed loop. I think these are phenomenal. What you can do with these and the modes and all that stuff, it's great. So the S2 is what you're going for. You're going to take a look at our home page. There's going to be a banner that talks about the giveaway. I'm also going to put a link in the description below, but in case you don't like to look at that, go to our home page. It's going to be starting on March 1st. March 1st will be the day that this contest begins. It's going to go for 2 weeks. Go check it out. It'll give you the details there. There are, I think, like 4 or 5 ways to enter and have multiple entries in to win this pump. So don't miss out, guys. Vectra S2. You want to win this. Can't go wrong. Free pump, right? Let's go, guys. Okay. Beyond that, that's it for me. I'm going to get out of here. Nice and short and sweet. Have a great weekend. Hope you're enjoying the snow if you're in Indiana. Next week it'll probably be 50. But other than that, have a great week. Stay safe. Hit the bell. Subscribe, like, do all that good stuff. We appreciate you. We'll see you next weekend. Vectra S2. Look in the description. See you later, guys. Peace.